Far away from Earth, in a distant part of the galaxy, there was a human colony named Nova Prime. For many years, Nova Prime was a shining light of hope for humanity's future. Thousands of people lived there, working hard to build a new world. They had farms, schools, cities, and even spaceports. It was a place where humans dreamed of peace and growth. But one morning, everything changed. The sky over Nova Prime was clear and bright. People were going about their daily lives. Children laughed and played in the streets. Workers went to their jobs and families ate breakfast together. No one expected the disaster that was coming. Without any warning, huge shapes appeared in the sky. They were enormous warships, unlike anything humans had ever seen before. Dark, menacing, and covered in strange alien symbols, these ships blocked out the sun. The people of Nova Prime stared up in fear and confusion. The colony's defense system tried to respond quickly. Alarms sounded all over the cities. Military ships scrambled to meet the threat, but the alien fleet was too fast and too powerful. The sky filled with explosions and fire as the aliens began their attack. In the center of the colony, Commander Jalen stood on the bridge of the main defense station. His face was tense, eyes fixed on the blinking red lights. "We didn't see them coming," he said quietly. "They destroyed our early warning satellites. We have only minutes." Jalen knew the colony was in grave danger. The aliens were not just attacking to conquer. They wanted to wipe out every trace of human life on Nova Prime. He gave orders to evacuate as many people as possible, but chaos spread fast. In the city streets, people ran for cover. Buildings shook and crumbled under the alien bombardment. Fires broke out everywhere. Mothers held their children tightly, while fathers tried to protect their families. The sky was filled with smoke and ash. Among the survivors was a young woman named Arya. She worked as a scientist at the colony's research center. Arya had spent years studying the stars and searching for signs of other life. Now she was fighting just to stay alive. Arya ran through the rubble trying to find a way out. She heard screams and explosions behind her. She saw her friends and neighbors falling, but she didn't stop. She had a mission. Before the attack, Arya and her team had discovered something important, a hidden message buried deep in space signals. It was a warning. The message said an enemy was coming, but nobody believed it. Now, that enemy was here. Arya reached the colony's communication hub. It was damaged, but still working. She tried to send a distress call to Earth. Her hands shook as she typed the message. "Colony under attack. Alien fleet destroying everything. Need immediate help. Survivors trapped. Send fleet." The message was sent just as the building collapsed around her. Arya barely escaped, carrying the hope of her people. Back on the defense bridge, Commander Jalen watched the last city sectors fall. He knew the colony was lost. His voice was calm but full of pain as he spoke to the crew. "We fought with all we had, but this was not just a battle. It's a massacre. We must make sure Earth knows what happened here." Jalen gave the order to activate the colony's last weapon, a powerful beacon that would send a final signal to Earth. The beacon was hidden deep underground. It was designed to warn humanity of great danger. As the beacon powered up, a deep red light spread across the sky. The aliens paused, confused by the sudden signal. But their commander, a cold and cruel alien named Varkon, was not afraid. "Destroy it," Varkon ordered. "Leave no message for the humans." The aliens launched a full assault on the beacon site. Soldiers fought fiercely to protect it, but the enemy was overwhelming. Meanwhile, Arya joined a group of survivors heading to the underground tunnels. They carried the beacon's message in their minds, hoping it would reach Earth before it was too late. In the tunnels, Arya looked around at the frightened faces. People whispered prayers and held hands. No one wanted to believe that their home was gone forever. Suddenly, a huge explosion shook the ground. Dust and debris fell from the ceiling. The tunnels trembled. The aliens were closing in. Arya's heart raced. She thought of Earth, the blue planet so far away. She hoped that help was on its way. If humanity did not respond, everything they had built would be lost. Hours passed. The aliens continued their destruction above ground. The survivors in the tunnels waited in silence, listening to the distant sounds of war. Finally, the last message from Nova Prime reached Earth's command center. The voice of Commander Jalen, tired but determined, warned of the attack and the fate of the colony. The leaders on Earth were shocked. They realized their greatest fear was true. The enemy had attacked without mercy. Humanity's future was at risk. But with the message came a promise. The hidden fleet, long prepared and waiting, would rise. 700,000 warships would launch on a mission of vengeance. The story of Nova Prime was not over. It had only just begun. If you want, I can make the end far away from the ruined colony, on Earth. The command center buzzed with activity. The message from Nova Prime had reached them. Commander Jalen's voice was still clear in their minds. The colony was destroyed. Billions of lives lost in a sudden, brutal attack. The leaders of Earth gathered in the war room. Faces were grim. They had hoped the colony was safe, but now the harsh truth was clear. Humanity was under threat. General Marcus, the fleet commander, stood before the large holographic map of the galaxy. His voice was firm and steady. We cannot let this happen again. We built the fleet for this day. The 700,000 warships hidden across the solar system are ready. It's time to awaken them. Years ago, Earth had secretly built a massive fleet of warships. The fleet was hidden in asteroid fields behind planets and in distant space stations. It was humanity's final shield, prepared in silence while the rest of the galaxy was unaware. As the order was given, alarms sounded across the fleet bases. Pilots and crews rushed to their ships. The fleet was waking up after decades of silence. Among the crews was Captain Leo, a young pilot with a strong sense of duty. Leo had grown up hearing stories of the colonies and the hope they represented. Now he was ready to fight for their survival. In the command room, General Marcus watched the fleet come alive. Ships powered up, weapon systems tested, and communications opened. But there was no time for celebration. The enemy was still out there, powerful, unknown, and deadly. Suddenly a new message arrived. It was a warning from a deep space scout. Enemy fleet detected moving toward Earth's outer colonies. They are faster than predicted and heavily armed. The room fell silent. The threat was closer than anyone thought. General Marcus's eyes narrowed. This is no random attack. They want to destroy humanity completely. The fleet prepared to launch. Warships formed battle groups, engines roared to life, and pilots checked their gear, the young and the experienced, all ready to fight. Captain Leo climbed into his fighter ship, heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. He thought of Nova Prime, the people lost, and the mission ahead. The first step was clear: find the enemy, stop them, and protect what was left of humanity. But the enemy was clever. They used stealth ships and traps, making the hunt difficult and dangerous. Tensions rose among the fleet's commanders. Some wanted to attack quickly. Others urged caution. General Marcus knew the future of humanity depended on their decisions. Meanwhile, back on Earth, families watched the news with worry. The stars that once promised hope now seemed filled with danger. In space, the fleet moved silently toward the unknown. Captain Leo's voice broke the silence over the radio. Fleet, this is Alpha 1. We're ready to find our enemy. For Nova Prime, for Earth. The hunt had begun. The fleet sliced through the dark emptiness of space, each warship alert and ready. Commander Marcus led from the flagship Resolute, eyes glued to the holographic maps and enemy signals. Every sensor was scanning for any sign of the alien fleet. That had wiped out Nova Prime. Captain Leo flew his fighter at the fleet's edge, his heart pounding. The memory of Nova Prime's destruction drove him forward. He knew the enemy was ruthless and smart. Days passed with no clear sign of the enemy. The fleet moved deeper into unknown space, but the silence was unsettling. Commander Marcus gathered his officers. We have no choice but to split into search groups. Cover more ground. Stay sharp. This could be a trap. As the fleet divided, tensions grew. Some ships reported strange signals, unusual energy readings and brief flashes of light in the distance. Suddenly, one of the scout ships went silent. "Alpha 2 lost contact," a pilot shouted. The fleet held its breath. No response. It was as if the ship vanished into thin air. Captain Leo's fighter was sent to investigate. He flew fast toward the last known position. As he neared, strange shapes appeared in his sensors. Cloaked enemy ships hidden in asteroid debris. An ambush. Without warning, lasers erupted from the shadows. Leo dodged and fired back. The fight was fierce and close. Enemy fighters everywhere. Leo reported, "They know we're coming." Back on the Resolute, Commander Marcus made a hard call. "Pull back, regroup. We can't afford to lose more ships this early." The fleet retreated, but the enemy's tactics were clear. Hit and disappear, wearing the humans down. Amidst the chaos, Leo found a captured alien pilot alive in his fighter. The alien was injured but conscious. "Why attack us?" Leo demanded, gripping his controls tight. The alien, speaking in broken English, replied, "You do not understand. They want something from your colony." Leo's mind raced. What could the enemy want that was so important? Meanwhile, tensions rose among the human commanders. Some argued for total war, others urged caution, fearing traps and greater dangers. Commander Marcus knew the hunt was just beginning, and the enemy was more dangerous than anyone had guessed. The fleet moved forward, ready for what was next. The war was no longer just about revenge, it was about survival. The fleet continued its chase through deep space. After days of searching, they finally reached the enemy's homeworld, a strange planet shrouded in swirling purple clouds and jagged black mountains. The surface was harsh and alien, nothing like any human world. Commander Marcus ordered a careful approach. The fleet moved slowly, scanning for defenses and signs of life. Captain Leo flew his fighter closer, amazed and wary at the same time. As they orbited the planet, the fleet's sensors picked up a massive structure hidden beneath the clouds, an enormous alien city with glowing towers and strange machines humming with energy. Suddenly, a holographic message played on the flagship's screen. It was from the captured alien pilot who had regained consciousness. "The enemy you fight, they are not all the same. Some want war, but others want peace," the alien said quietly. "Your colony was destroyed because it held a secret." The fleet's leaders exchanged confused looks. What secret could Nova Prime hold? Aria's old research files, recovered from the colony's databanks, helped answer the question. The Dowd colony had been working on a powerful new technology, one that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. The alien warlords feared this technology. They destroyed Nova Prime to stop it from falling into human hands. As the fleet prepared to land troops and explore the planet, strange things began to happen. Ships reported electronic interference, weapons malfunctioned, and strange creatures appeared on the scanners. Captain Leo led a small team down to the planet's surface. The air was thin and strange sounds echoed through the mountains. The Khand alien city was abandoned, but signs of a recent battle were everywhere. They found ruins of advanced technology and data terminals. Leo accessed the terminals and uncovered shocking information. An even greater threat was hidden beneath the planet's surface, something that could destroy both humans and aliens. Back on the flagship, Commander Marcus faced a difficult choice. Do we risk everything to explore this danger? Or do we focus on defeating the enemy fleet above? The answer was unclear. But one thing was certain. The war was bigger than anyone imagined. The enemy was hiding more than just hatred. They were hiding secrets that could change the fate of the galaxy. Would you like me to prepare Part 5 next? Point 1 Mini, you said. Part 5 ChatGPT said. Here is Part 5 for your HFY Sci-Fi story, keeping it suspenseful and simple for your USA audience. Part 5. Betrayal from Within. As the fleet prepared to face the enemy, dark clouds of mistrust gathered among the humans. Commander Marcus knew that winning this war meant more than fighting aliens. It meant keeping the fleet united. But the worst fears soon came true. Reports came in that vital ship systems were failing, not from enemy attack but sabotage. Weapons wouldn't fire, engines stalled, and secret information was leaking. Suspicion spread quickly. Who could betray humanity in such a desperate time? Captain Leo was shocked when he found evidence pointing toward one of the fleet's own officers, Commander Rylan, a trusted friend and war hero. Rylan had been secretly communicating with the enemy. Leo confronted Rylan in a tense meeting aboard the flagship. "Why are you doing this? Why betray your own people?" Leo demanded. Rylan's face was cold. "You don't understand. The warlords control me. They promised power, or death." Leo realized that the enemy's threat was deeper than anyone thought. The warlords had spies inside the fleet, turning brother against brother. Commander, Marcus faced a painful decision. Should they punish Rylan and risk breaking morale, or try to use him to find more spies? While the fleet dealt with this internal danger, the enemy fleet closed in. Tensions ran high. The young pilot, Leo, struggled with anger and doubt, but refused to give up. He gathered a team of loyal fighters to prepare for the coming battle, knowing the enemy was watching their every move. The stage was set for a war not only between species but within the heart of humanity itself. The fleet had to survive betrayal and war, or all would be lost. The human fleet was ready. After dealing with betrayal and sabotage, the crews were stronger and more determined. Commander Marcus gave the order, "Prepare for the final battle." Captain Leo checked his fighter one last time. His hands were steady, but his heart raced. He thought of Nova Prime and all the lives lost. This battle would decide the future of humanity. The enemy fleet appeared on the horizon, dark, huge, and terrifying. Their warships moved with deadly precision, ready to crush the human fleet once and for all. Lasers and missiles lit up space. As both sides charged forward, explosions shook the void. Fighter pilots screamed over comms locked in fierce dogfights. Commander Marcus led the flagship Resolute into the heart of the battle. He ordered bold moves, risking everything to break the enemy lines. Captain Leo flew through the chaos, dodging enemy fire and protecting his squadron. He spotted the enemy commander's ship, a massive vessel covered in strange armor. The two sides clashed in a deadly dance, human technology and courage against alien strength and tactics. Suddenly, a surprise move by the enemy put the fleet in danger. Their flagship took heavy damage and chaos threatened to spread. But Captain Leo found an opening. With skill and bravery, he launched a daring attack on the enemy commander's ship. Explosions rocked the enemy vessel. The alien commander shouted orders, but his ship was failing. With a final strike, Leo's fighter hit the enemy ship's core. It exploded in a blaze of light. The enemy fleet began to retreat. The human fleet had won, but the cost was high. Many ships were lost and many lives were gone. Commander Marcus looked at the stars, tired but proud. This victory is only the beginning. We must rebuild and prepare. The galaxy is bigger and more dangerous than we imagined. Captain Leo nodded. He knew the fight was not over. The battle was over. The enemy fleet had been pushed back, but the scars it left were deep. The human fleet was battered, and many brave souls were lost. Still the survivors stood strong, hope burning bright in their hearts. Commander Marcus addressed the fleet from the flagship Resolute. "We fought with courage and honor. Nova Prime was lost, but its spirit lives on in us. This victory is proof that humanity will never give up." Captain Leo looked out at the stars, thinking of Arya, Commander Jalen, and all the people who had sacrificed everything. Their fight had not been in vain. Earth began sending support and rebuilding efforts to the outer colonies. Scientists worked day and night to understand the alien technology recovered from the enemy planet. It held the key to humanity's future, safety. Meanwhile, the captured alien pilot helped humanity learn more about the mysterious warlords. Not all aliens were enemies. Some wanted peace, and together, they hoped to build a stronger galaxy. As the fleet repaired and grew, new ships were launched. The 700,000 warships, once a secret, became a symbol of human strength and unity. Captain Leo prepared for his next mission, knowing that many challenges still lay ahead. But now, humanity was ready. The stars, once dark and full of fear, now shone with the promise of a new dawn. Humanity's story was far from over. It had only just begun.